Hello, everybody. It's Linda Light, and I've got some news for you today. First, wanted to just welcome you if you're new to my channel, and welcome you back if you've been following me. This has really been pretty incredible. So, I wanted to thank the Higher Self channel first. I'm rocking your t-shirt. I just got it yesterday. Higher Self. If you're not subscribed to that channel, get over there and check it out because there's so much information. See what resonates with you and just enjoy. So listen, these energies that have been coming in, pretty amazing, right? Or rocking your world, maybe. So I was at the grocery store yesterday with my daughter and we were shopping, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, headaches started like crazy. And I usually can make it down the cleaning aisle now without having to cover my mouth. And I used to have to cover my mouth before because I'm extremely chemical sensitive. But I've learned how to transmute and overcome that. So, a brief walk down that aisle and I'm okay. But yesterday I thought, did those chemicals trigger me or what? And the headaches continued. And the thing was, though, is that they were pulsing and pulsing. It was like something pretty intense. So I knew there was a wave going on. And from what I've seen other people reporting on, the wave was pretty intense that hit. And I want to say it was like zero time, because when it happened, it hit, just yesterday afternoon. It just hit like crazy and multiple places at the same time. So that was pretty intense. And these energies over the last couple of weeks have just been spiraling, and they've been very intense, for lack of a better word. But also, I'm finding a duality with that in and of itself, because the energies have felt like something that's right there. So it's right outside of my field. So if I'm over on the more vibrating, slower density side, and then I'm reminded right away, but this lightness is right here. All you have to do is pull it in and overlay it. And so I'm getting wonderful guidance and reminders, from within. And you all probably are getting the same thing. You're getting those nudgings. You're getting that feeling that you can trust the spiritual world. But sometimes it just feels really intense. And I know I've been through a couple of days rocking my world this last week too. So there is a lot going on. I wanted to describe something to you about how it was shown to me in relation to the Tree of Life. And then I'm going to attempt to show you some drawings that I did. And don't laugh. And I can draw, but these I just had to whip out really fast. So maybe you'll get a little chuckle out of it. So I'll try to do a second video and then put them together so that you can see the drawings. But I don't make predictions typically when I get information, because I just don't do that. And I've had much information given to me in the dream realm, but there's so many possibilities and so many things that can happen. So I don't like to put out predictions. However, I will tell you, keep your eye on, if you watch the news. I only do if I absolutely have to, and I find alternative news sources. But if you watch mainstream media or you keep your eye on the news, keep your eye on and stay non-judgmental, try to, on the abortion issue, because I believe that there's going to be a lot of information coming out about either Planned Parenthood, or it could have something to do with Roe v. Wade. But I believe it's going to be like a bipartisan type of thing. I want to say it feels like a good thing that's coming out, that we're going to get some information, but it could go through a really big hit with a lot of people thinking, that's not true, kind of thing. So just try to stay in the middle. Try not to get triggered by whatever you see first, but try to let that story unfold so that the truth can come out. And go through your own process. If it does trigger you, just try to remain calm on that one. But I think that's coming to the forefront very soon. And I was guided to share that with you. So I guess it's pretty important. Okay, and now to the tree of life. This is really cool. So there's been a lot of, you can research tree of life and what it means and all of that. But what I was shown was, imagine a tree overlaying you. Okay, so you are within this tree of life. The tree of life is like energetic, overlay it on you. And you know what your chakras are, so the trunk is going up and down. And imagine that the top of your head, the crown chakra, is at the very top of this tree. And the goal is to get all the way up to the top. So you know how when you have a tree, you have a trunk, and then you have multiple branches that go off. And each one of these branches would represent a spiritual gift, we'll say. Okay? And sometimes you might be tempted to hang out on a lower branch. You know, they say the low fruit is the most tempting and whatnot. So you could be, and I'll explain this when I show you the pictures just to give you a visual for it, but each one of the branches represents a different type of spiritual gift, and there are many. There are ones that I'm not even aware of. Like there's a lot. So the most obvious could be something like clairvoyance or clairaudience or manifestations, things like that. Okay. Now, if there is a gift that you go off on a branch for, and it might even be like, you know, when you get towards the top, there might be some really tempting gifts to go up to, but they may not lead you to the crown chakra of the tree, the very top, which is the goal. And if you go off this way thinking this is the way, or maybe somebody told you this was the way, or whatever, everybody has their own tree. Everybody has a unique signature. Everybody has unique, it's your blueprint, it's your path. And your path is to get to that crown chakra on the tree. And if you have somebody on their tree telling you to go this way or that way, well, you know, watch out for this, watch out for that, go down this road. Their tree is a little different than your tree. So really what this tells you is only you can really know. And that's why it's so important to go within and trust your own self, because nobody knows what your tree looks like except for you. And all right, so that's one point. But the other point is, if you get stuck on a tree, on a branch in your tree, and the gift is really cool and you think, you know, you got it going on because maybe you can see this or you can hear that, and you're like, wow, this is so much more than I ever thought I could. But you're not going to make it to the top unless you go on that main branch that leads you to the crown chakra of the tree, not your physical crown chakra, but it's very representative of the same thing. And there's also a taproot. In any tree, there's a taproot that goes straight down into earth. And what happens next, I'll show you. I'm going to cut the video here and I'm going to show you in the drawing. And please go easy on my drawings or get a good chuckle out of it. Okay, so here we are, and here's your tree. Here you are when you're born. And when you're born, you still have a connection, but you lose that connection. So this is representative of when you get cut off. But when you're a little baby, you know, you can see the goal. It looks like it's straight ahead. So as you start growing up, you know, you lose that connection. And there are children born now that don't, but let's just say for now, where you're at right now, this is your tree. And here you go. So you're on your life path and you have forks in the road, and your blueprint might be, I've never experienced this before, so you take this way. This might be representative of more younger souls, or if you get tempted at a young age, or you're born into a family that, you know, has you going down these paths, but you still, your main goal, most of us are heading up this way, and there's still other branches to go down, other life paths, other experiences. But let's say you've been around a long time. Let's say you've experienced these things in other fractals, experiences, lives, whatever you want to call it. Let's say you've already done these roads, so you keep heading up towards the top, and you're happy because you know it. If you're happy and you know it. Okay, so here you are, here's your crown chakra up here, and you're heading down this way. It is a lot more complicated. I know, elongated, right? Sorry, but you are kind of stretching yourself. You are expanding. And as you learn more and more, you see how complicated this tree really is. You start to see there are many, many, many different experiences that you've had, and yet there's still much more to experience. Now, what happens is you get to the tree. Now, you're growing up your branch. There really is only one true path to get to the strongest branch that leads you to the top. But it is a twisty, windy. It's not as straight. It's not as straight as it once was when you were a child. When you were a child, it was pretty obvious which way you were going. But as you get older, it gets more complicated, and you get to the point where you've seen all the temptations. Maybe you've tried some and come back and tried again, but you're on this path now. This is your life path. And it might appear to be blocked, but these branches there is one branch that does lead you to your crown chakra. And the crown chakra of your tree, when it opens and you get there, leads you, don't laugh at that. I know it looks like a bunch of scribble, but it leads you to the path where your crown chakra opens up and it blossoms and it blooms. And in the chakra systems, like we have the root chakra and the crown chakra are actually going this way, up and down. Your heart chakra is going directly, front and center. It's your big projection portal center. And you have your high heart center here, which activates when your kundalini rises and all of that. But these are your other chakras, and they tip in towards the heart chakra. But anyway, I won't get into that. So what happens when these energies that are coming in right now are coming in spiraling? They're coming in to you. How much trickles in and whatever depends upon how much you can receive. You can intend to open up and receive it too, and you are doing that. But what happens is your energy field, when this blossoms, the energy comes up through here and comes down and around like this. And imagine this in 360 degrees as I'm doing it all around you, okay? Up and around. And then that activates your light body, which is representative of the Merkaba. So you have, I know, terrible, terrible drawings. Just forgive me on that one. So you have your light body is like your transportation system, and that's your Merkaba. But when this all starts to activate, it's going down through the earth, and you have another chakra down below, and it comes down through the earth, comes back up this way. You can draw in energies this way. You can draw them up this way. So you have an intermingling, the divine masculine, the divine feminine coming together, opening up the crown chakra, and then pouring out golden light down and around and in your field like this. Okay, it's like a tortoise field, if I'm saying that right. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives some kind of visualization for you, because there are times where you can have your crown chakra open up for a moment or two and all this light comes pouring in. I had this happen to me, and whoa, what an experience. I mean, they say once you see the light, you can never unsee it and feel it. It's warm. It's the most loving feeling, if only for a second that it opens like that. It's like an eternal state of bliss, and it activates all kinds of gifts for you. But if this tree was still overlaid here with all its branches, and it's like the flowering tree, you get all of the experiences come together into the whole one. You're unified. You can see the entire picture, everything, and all the branches then are one and activated, and everything's there. But what happens is we're going along this, trying to get to this crown chakra point where we're all fully, completely opened up on a multi-dimensional level, seeing everything, hearing everything, feeling everything. We want all those gifts activated. I guess you could call this your God self, okay? And I know people want that light switch moment where they know and feel and experience all of this, but these energies are really intense. We have to work into this because there's still densities that we're releasing. And if this were to open now with all these densities, with all these spiralings coming in, if this were to open up, you would just either burn out or collapse if you don't get your body cleansed the right way to hold this type of light and this type of energy. So anyhow, maybe just start meditating on it. Try to overlay a tree and imagine that you're within the tree and that you're looking straight up. Try to see up and see it opening, and pull in this light intentionally and allow it to come in through your field, to come up through the root. The thing was, when you see this, you imagine it comes through the root. We've always been taught, do the chakras in order this way. But when I've had integrations and my soul's coming down, even little bits of it, I couldn't handle the full intensity of my soul at this moment. But when my soul comes down and I feel it coming in this way, coming down this way. So you're going to get energies coming both ways. Like we do right now, we're getting energies coming in this way. But when it blossoms and opens up, there's a movement that goes this way. Okay? So I hope that's a little bit more clear. And just to show you real quick, I actually can draw. I figured I'd share a couple of my drawings with you, things I was working on or practicing. A couple years ago, I did some of these, and then some more recent, or just little practice sketches here, but that was like a still life of my hand piece. Just a couple little things. My daisy, I like to give out white daisies. If you see the white daisies, that's part of my energetic signature. That's not exactly white, but this was something I was attempting to show out of my view, out of my heart center, but I couldn't do so good on that picture. That's just a friend of mine. And this one is near and dear to my heart because I was trying to work on a special tattoo with a quote from each one of my kids. Every day's a holiday, life is but a dream, be the change, and have faith in me. That's one from each one of my 4 children. And every day's a holiday was for my oldest son. He's the one that passed. And then my oldest daughter, my second daughter, and my youngest son. And what I wound up getting was these 4 feathers and not the other ones. And then instead of a dream catcher, I have a really kick-ass bird who's like a tribal type of bird. I needed some kind of something, and the bird was it. So I had finally settled on that. I got about a year ago, and maybe someday I'll show it to you. It's on my arm. But I just wanted to thank you guys again for being here and supporting me and showing the love and the encouragement. And I just wanted to wish everybody a great weekend with these energies. Remind you to drink water, meditate, and just be the change that you want to see in the world. Be the change yourself and stay in the middle. Stay in the neutrality of the middle. So with peace and love and blessings to everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will be back as soon as I'm guided to. I love you guys. Namaste.